What's up, everybody? We back. It's been a minute. We back. I had a special surprise. I ain't want to say nothing. We got the man of the hour. He doing little stupid poses over there. Introduce yourself, man.
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? What's poppin', peeps? My name is Dean, Deanreacts, however you know me by, wherever you know me at. I'm just kind of a semi-funny dude who makes semi-funny videos on the internet, and that's pretty much just is the entire gist. I'm a reactor. I host random events within the community from time to time. Yeah, dude, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Perfect. See, y'all may not know. Y'all may see these pretty little thumbnails that's been appearing on my channel.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
this is Dean. Dean's work is doing all of this. I'm slow. I I don't know.
No, you're good. Hey, no, you're just starting in the content creation game, man. It's all good.
We starting. We learning. I'm also extremely busy. So
No, I feel it.
my
I feel it.
my boy here has been helping me out. If you've seen the nice
Yes,
little
sir.
reactions, nice little thumbnails on the reactions.
Yes, sir.
Now,
That's me.
if y'all may look and y'all might see this right over here. Y'all may see I don't have my camera on, and that's because my camera is absolutely stupid and it looks like this. And hold up, whenever that loads, it looks so out of focus. I don't even want to make y'all feel bad. So we got a nice little interview set up. Frozen in Time number 4.
Yes, sir.
My favorite number. So this makes perfect sense.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate that. And I want to thank you before we properly get into it. I do want to thank you for asking me to be a part of this, man. You're doing good work. I know you just started out your content creation kind of journey. You're kind of still on like the beginning half of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've liked what I've seen so far from you. I can tell you, I can tell that you truly care and are trying to learn and improve over time. Like I said, even though you're still starting out, and I appreciate you asking me to be a part of this. And fun fact, this is the first Dinaling interview. So hey, props to Frozo over here for putting me on.
Man, I appreciate you. I'm not
Of
gonna
course,
lie.
man.
It was. And I know I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all know my vibes. It's 100% honesty. If it
Yes, sir.
wasn't for this man right here, him, Fazy, I think that's how you say his name, or
X,
Phase, X Phase.
I think he takes either. I think it's supposed to be X Phasey, but I think he doesn't mind being called Phase either.
Hey, Fazy, X Fazy, my guy, Darnell, Bradley, and even Game Boy Jones on some occasions when he can edit his videos. Those are my without y'all, I'm not gonna lie, would never have started content creation. I just love the
I
music.
appreciate that. I appreciate that,
So
man.
it's kind of a, you said it's an honor. I think, it's also an honor because realistically, without you, there is no Frozo. There is no King Frozo. There is
Hey,
just
man, that's an honor. I
there's just
appreciate the kind word.
JP. So now we both make reactions. We both
Mhm.
make different kinds of reactions.
Yes, sir.
What type of reaction do you love like the most? Like, do you want like the ones that's like the vibey ones, one you kind of just relaxing, kind of vibing with the song, the extra energy, the fables, the DPSs, all of those? Do you like this? I'm not gonna lie, I haven't peeped your channel in a while. I've been busy. Have you
I
done
know
sing?
it's
Have you done singing react or like a Orcadia type of rap like reactions? What's your
see
more favorite ones?
me personally, when it comes to like music tastes,
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much like all styles, all types of music. Like you were saying, I like some melodic stuff. I like some singing stuff. I like some of the high energy, some rage. So whatever. I tend to enjoy just music in general, but in the reaction sense,
Mm-hmm.
um, one, I feel like it's very dependent on the mood that I'm in, because like I might be in like a certain headspace, so like a certain song might resonate with me more in that current period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's very situational. But if I were to think of just off the top of my head, I would say the best ones are people who um they give a lot of meaning behind the music.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and this doesn't like tie it down to like a certain like genre, but something that is just like I can resonate with on a personal level, because I feel like those reactions kind of bring out a certain aspect of me in those reactions where it's just like I might go like get into some personal stuff, and I like that stuff. I like the stuff that makes you think and you can tie it back to some personal struggle, personal ties, whatever that person might be going through. That's the stuff that I kind of find myself enjoying that. And pretty much the easier thing for me, and this is no shade to anybody, rapping is significantly easier to react to, because with rapping you can break down bars, punches, like certain flows or whatever. Like they're so condensed with information that it's very easy to break down. Whereas if you just listen to like a song that might not be like just like a pop song or something like that,
like a singing one.
Yeah, like there's not much to like. Yeah, you can break down. There's stuff to break down, but there's not as much condensed in most of those songs. So those, I feel like my contribution to those kind of songs isn't the greatest. So I like I like stuff where I can. There's a lot of like stuff within it that it's easier to break down.
I'm kind of on the same way, because like a lot of my channel is more of on the rap scene, rap category, and all that. And that's because more of the break. I love the breaking down part. I love breaking down. For most artists, for some artists, I'm gonna be honest with you. I be so caught up in the music. 954 Mario, I'm calling you out. You make too good of a song. There's too many bars. I can't break them down. I can't break them all down.
I feel that.
And
no, there's some people who who go crazy with that stuff, man. They go crazy.
Man, that Hunter song. I'm not gonna lie. That Hunter song.
That's a good ass song. That is a good ass song.
That was the only song so far that I've reacted to. Jamar's was close. That I could not even do my outro correctly because of how much I had a headache. I just had to say peace. Have you had one like that where you're just like, oh my god?
Plenty. There's been plenty. I would say that there's been a couple. There's a couple that come off the top of my head. Like songs like if you for the people at home in Frozo, for if you've heard of there's a guy that goes by the name of Kaze, who's a smaller, yeah, he's a smaller artist within the community. He's done features for people like Rustage. I think he was on Rustage's recent album too.
I think he had one.
Yeah, but he's one of my favorite artists in the scene, because for some reason I just resonate so much with his music to the point where it literally, like, I sit there speechless. And so like after the song is over, like there was one song in particular where it was Kaze's song with Suyo called Fire Inside. And
that was the introduction to Suyo and Kaze for me, was that song, because I remember there was people hyping it up.
I reacted to that song on stream, and that was my first official Kaze song that I reacted to. I knew of the dude, but I never took the time. And this is just towards the beginning of my open reaction journey. And I reacted to that song live on stream, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And that song is maybe three and a half minutes long. That ended up being a 20-minute reaction.
I've had so many of those,
and it's just like
Aerial Aces, because
I kept I kept flipping out and going crazy over it because it was such a good song. And afterwards, like I just felt like exhausted to the point where I couldn't even give like my normal high energy self like a proper intro, like outro or anything like that. Like I felt exhausted after listening to it, because I was just so into the music. And Kaze's done that a couple of times. Hell, I've reacted to music that have straight up crashed my stream. They were so far they crashed my streams.
And I know one of them for sure. I was in that stream.
Are you talking about the Mix Williams
Mix
one?
Williams, yup.
Yeah, shout out Mix. Shout out Mix with Dizzy.
That was one of the ones I can kind of relate on the 20 minute for like a 3 minute song.
Yep.
Aerial Aces, he's called me out on this. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a 3.5 4 minute song.
Mhm.
It was 27 minutes on my channel.
Damn.
I I was like, it was just it was good. There was bars
Hell yeah,
everywhere.
dude. Absolutely, man. I have no problem with it, man, because
I feel like
as
that's one
long
of the
as
biggest.
you're being like entertaining with it,
Mhm.
and you're still like there's people that I'd rather have a longer reaction than a shorter reaction, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm agree.
Like
I agree.
if the song's like 3 minutes, if I'm getting a 5 minute reaction from a 3 minute song, like I feel like you didn't do enough.
Yeah,
Respectfully, of course. Obviously, there might be some songs where you can break down more than others. That's cool, whatever.
yeah.
But if it's consistent, I feel like you're not doing enough with your with the reaction.
I feel like one of the biggest compliments for an artist as a reactor, and this is just
Mhm.
personally speaking, if you're an artist and you
Yep.
want to kind of fact check me on this, is if you do have a rap song where you're busting your butt trying to get bars on bars on bars,
Mhm.
and we make it a 26, 27 minute reaction. I feel like that's one of the biggest compliments because it's like,
Absolutely.
because now it's showing that, hey, you did that, you did good.
Yes, sir. And there's some people out there who like try to break down like I don't necessarily try to break down everything. I try to break down most of the stuff, whatever. But the the one cool thing about the reactor space, and I really enjoy, is that there's all different types of reactors.
Yeah.
Everybody, no one reactor is the same. Where somebody might be better at picking up every little intricate bar and punch.
Darnell Bradley.
There might be people who might break down more of the production side.
Yeah.
There might be people who are just hype men, just energy. Like that's what I consider myself. Because I don't know much. I'm not a musician or anything like that. I'm just a consumer who just enjoys good music. But there's a reactor out there for
Everything.
anybody.
Yeah.
So if you prefer these style of reactions, like I promise you, there's somebody in the reaction space who's doing them exactly the way that you like them. So if you like those longer, more in depth, and you break down those like every little thing in the song, there's somebody who out there who does it. If you prefer like shorter reactions and somebody just listen along to the track with you, there's people out there who do that. Like there's something out there for everybody in the reaction space.
And I feel like that's what makes this scene so much of an accepting space, especially in the reacting community, is that there's no one, you're not, like you said, there's no one gonna be the exact same. Like I look at myself more as I break down the bars. I'll look for everything, every intricate detail on those bars.
Yep.
But then I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do that for the whole time. I know for a fact I'm gonna miss a lot of bars.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I feel like that's what just makes it so good, because I came in and I felt really like accepted. Like I think a lot of people, if you may not know this, I started reacting like 2 months ago. Yep. I'm 2 months into the scene and I feel accepted, and I feel already that sense of kind of like he's here. He's another reactor, and that's what makes it good, and that's why I appreciate you, because you was one of the first ones. Yep. I appreciate you on that part. Now, speaking of music, and you said you're a consumer, this leads to my next question.
Yep.
Everybody has that one artist that you're like, man, I don't care if it's 6 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning, I'm playing this song. Who's that one artist in the nerdcore scene, and then possibly an artist outside of the nerdcore scene, nerdcore/nerdcore adjacent?
That's a good question, and I got the easiest answer. That's like the easiest question that you can ask me, because no matter the vibe, especially lately, because this is the artist who has different vibes of songs depending on the mood, their state of mind that you're in. Mix Willie. So, or how I like to call him, Slick Willie. Mix Williams is one of those people that I find myself like, if when the Spotify Wrapped comes out for this year in the next month or so, it's probably going to come out here soon. Mix Williams will most likely be my number one artist because he is like always just, there's a song for every occasion.
Yeah.
Whether you need something hype, whether you want something more emotional, introspective, if you just want like a vibey track, like Mix Williams has got a track for everything. So I would say Mix Williams. Kaze is a good one. I love Kaze. If there's people who are watching this who haven't listened to Kaze, I highly recommend
go
you
listen
check him
to
out. Incredibly talented. Somebody like a Peso as well. Shout out to Peso.
Love you, Peter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And lately too, there's been that. If we're talking mainstream too, shout out to Kendrick too. He dropped today.
We're saving that for later. We're saving that one for later. All right.
But Kendrick Lamar is always somebody, and Tyler the Creator too. Oh my God. Both of those guys, in terms of mainstream, like lately, I just can't get enough of listening to those two. So I was fiending when Kendrick dropped today.
Okay, well, he kind of led me into my question I was going to ask later. Kendrick Lamar dropped today, everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, overall rating. I feel like I already know your overall rating, if I remember correctly. And top 3 songs.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about it. All right, we're going to talk about it.
I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Is it AO of the year?
I will never, ever give anything in terms of like rating. I will never give anything a perfect score because I always feel like there's always room for improvement. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. My album of the year was the Tyler the Creator album. But after today, if you say anything other than that Kendrick Lamar album as album of the year,
you are wrong,
lying, bro.
You are wrong.
Snapped on that album, bro. But if I have to go top 3 songs,
you can pull up the Spotify really quickly if you need to.
That was funny because I have it still pulled up from when I was listening to it earlier. I would say Heart Part 6, so fucking good.
That was a real one.
Yes, sir.
I had to think about that one.
Dude, the Heart Part 6 was so fucking good.
The other Heart Part 6 sucked.
TV off, just because that beat was crazy.
Thank you. That beat switch was crazy.
Dude, that beat was crazy. And then, because of the anticipation, I was waiting for it, I gotta go squabble up.
Now listen.
Oh, uh-oh.
Now listen. I'm not gonna lie.
What's up?
We only on one. I'm not gonna lie. A 9.5 out of 10. I kind of agree with you on that aspect. It could have been better.
Yeah, of course.
And it still wasn't even anything close to anything bad. Wasn't even close to mid.
Yeah.
We only agree on Squabble Up being in top 3. I can't lie with you. And now hear me out.
What's up?
I'm trying to mess up this saying. Whacked Out Murals.
Murals. That was, dude.
That's my. Hey, if you starting off an album and you doing 5 minutes of straight rapping,
yes,
and you calling out everybody, oh yeah,
dude,
no.
I was in call. We were doing me and Suyo were doing like a little listening party to it. Sorry if you could hear that car in the background. I apologize. But me and Suyo were doing a listening party, and we were literally freaking out so much over that first track. I don't think, with how he has been this year with certain events, I don't know if he could have started that album off any better. Man, that was the most Kendrick Lamar thing. We're just like, you know what, man? I don't even give a damn. I'm just gonna shoot shots at everybody. Man. I don't care. I don't think he could have. And the way he ended off the album as well. Dude,
there were people calling that ending track lame and like bad, and I was like,
what?
If you're listening to the album, that's the perfect ending. Dude, now, I can't lie. My top 3: Whacked Out Murals number 1.
Absolutely.
Squabble Up number 2.
Squabble's good.
Man at the Garden, number 3.
Oh yeah,
Man at the Garden,
Garden's
number
valid.
3.
Man
TV
at the
off
Garden is valid.
4.
TV, yep, that's valid. See, here's the thing: none of these songs, like all of these songs,
None
if
of
you would have
these
said
songs are
any of
bad.
these, if you would have said any of these songs, it would have been perfectly. It would have been perfectly valid. Like there was, I was telling this to Suyo, there was no songs on here that were
Yeah.
genuinely like a miss. Like they all would hit. Like if you would, like I could see myself coming back to listening to any of those tracks on that album.
I got like, and the third thing is like usually with albums for me, it takes me a while to get like couple playlists through, couple everything through. It takes me a while to get them saved.
Yep.
Yeah, my recent 4 songs was the 4 songs I just named. Our first listen, they're in my playlist, and I'm not gonna lie, maybe a little biased. I'm from the West Side. I'm from the West Side, so maybe a little biased.
I know that was heavily influenced.
That was
with
heavily influenced, and that's what we love to see.
Also, shout out to Kendrick too for getting a bunch of artists that
no one's heard of,
and they all snapped too. They all snapped. Obviously, you had Kendrick. People like SZA on there, who I think SZA had two features. Then the rest of all the other features, they were not notable names at all, and they fucking killed it.
I had to look up all of them.
Oh, dude, yeah, me and Suyo looked it up. Dodie 6 is one that me and Suyo are gonna come back to a lot. I think he was on. I can't remember what track he was on.
I think it was Peekaboo. No, it was GNX. I think it was GNX. One of those two.
Oh, it's gonna bug me now, because whatever track that he's on,
I gotcha.
He snapped, bro. He snapped on it.
Yeah, no, that was Dottie 6.
He was on Hey Now.
He was on Peekaboo too.
He was on Peekaboo too?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even peep that.
He was on Peekaboo.
Oh, no, it says as cheeky or as cheeky. I don't know how to properly say it.
Man, look right below, my brother. I'm on Genius though, so Genius lying.
Yeah, I'm on Spotify. I just view the credits on Spotify.
See,
I could be wrong too. So hey, it's
listen, Dottie 6. Yeah,
Dottie
6, you killed it. Absolutely snapped on that.
Yes.
I was losing my mind listening to this at work.
Dude, yeah,
I was losing my mind.
That was the best 45 minutes of the day, bro. That was the best 45
Kendrick,
minutes.
shout out you. You should come on Frozen in Time number 5. All right.
Hey, Kendrick. I know I'm kind of clouded like that. I'm kidding. I'm not clouded at all. But hey, I'm vouching for my homie. If you watch this by any chance,
if you watch this for some odd reason that pops up on your TikTok page or something, or on the news on the newspaper, yeah, come join in.
Hell yeah, dude.
Now, we know Dean. We know Dean-a-ling. We know Deanreacts.
Yes, sir.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Now, who is Dean outside of YouTube? You don't gotta go into full on detail and expose yourself in that way. But
in what way?
Now, what does a day in the life of Dean look if you're not recording reactions or streaming?
See, that's an easy question because it's not very eventful. So for the people who know me, I outside of my content, I work just my normal full-time job, working in a factory for 10 hours a day. And that's what I do to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up at the ass crack of dawn every day at 4 a.m. Getting ready to work. And then I don't get out until 3:30. And then I'm not exaggerating at all when I say this, but when I'm not like at work, I'm a complete I'm a shut-in. As surprising as that might be to some people, because I give off like the a very extroverted kind of nature about and personality about myself. I am a very introverted and hermited person, to the point where just I'm at this desk 99% of the time, outside of obviously a few situations. So If I'm not sitting here just working on some sort of content,
Mm-hmm.
because I do other things outside of just my reactions. Like I'm currently got things planned for the end of the year. Like I'm trying to like plan and get everything put together. So I'm making graphics. I'm doing all this, yada yada yada. But when I'm not doing that, I'm probably just playing some sort of game. Like I was playing Elden Ring before hopping in Frozen in Time with kingfrozo. There's your little title
Appreciate
plug.
that.
But I'm not gonna lie, my life is not the most eventful. And I live probably the most boring life that I can, because I dedicate my time either to my job or
Second job.
my content. And I've kind of tried to get better with it recently. Because if for the people who again pay attention to like my social medias and stuff, you would know that lately, uh, this just been I've just been getting stacked up on stress
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and I've been trying to find that a healthy balance to where I need to take time for myself,
As you should.
because one thing that I'm terrible at is taking care of myself. I always put everything and everybody before me, and I love doing that. I love being there for people. Um, but I that's just always something that I've always done my entire life. Is I always put everything and everybody above me and my needs,
Mm-hmm.
and so I get to the point where just like if I'm making content too much, I get burnt out, and then it just my mental spirals, and I'm just not in a good spot. So that's why I've kind of taken a step back. I've kind of lightened my load a little bit, to the point where I'm still consistent, but I'm not going too crazy. So I've been taking time. I've been trying to be more active. I've been trying to eat better. I've been trying to just I've been doing some stuff personally that just try to better myself and my position and my well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing that people don't realize, especially with content creators and in this space, and even as a reactor too,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're a content creator, you'll still kind of get it to a sense. But one thing about reactors is that if you want to make it as a reactor, like if you want to be able to get to a point where you do this as like your job and you make like a living off of it, oh, God willing, one day me and Frozo get to that point. Um, but you have to dedicate so much time, like post multiple videos a day. You gotta really just like that's so much content you're consuming to the point where it can be draining, and you can lose motivation, can lose like that spark for a second. You can lose that passion just because you just do so much uh that you just and that causes you to neglect everything else around you. And so I've kind of taken the step back to the point where I do it now because I to the point where I still enjoy it, but I'm not wearing myself thin because of it. And that's I kind of lightened the load a little bit with my reactions. I don't do open reactions as much. Still do them, but I don't do them as much. And it's just there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it, on my end at least. I can't speak for other people. That I just try to find that happy balance. Like, and it's difficult, and I'm still learning, but that's kind of where I'm at, to the point where just so lately I just be doing whatever I can to kind of keep myself occupied too, because I'm very ADHD ridden. So I have to have some sort of stimulus So I'm either probably just gaming, I'm chilling in calls with people. I love talking to people. I love chilling with people. Um, and yeah, dude, I'm kind of just focusing on myself and kind of relaxing whenever I'm not doing any sort of content or anything of the sorts.
And I feel like that's kind of I agree with you along the more of the like the burnout because before I was started doing content creation, I was pretty like active like in the scene as a fan perspective. Like I was
Yeah.
in honestly, if you go back 2022, 2023, even early this year and you look at a tweet, guarantee you see my dumb self right under it replying. That's just how I am. I love it. I love music and I love doing all that. But even now,
Of
like
course.
even early, like I can feel like I do a stream for 3-4 hours reacting to music and I'm like
Yes.
I'm tired. And
Dude.
that's why and that's why like I always preach and I always preach on Twitter and I always preach all this stuff, even on like my Instagram and my YouTube comments and all that stuff. If you need to take a break, take a break. Because
Absolutely.
realistically, if your mental is not in the right state that you cannot do what you normally do and normally how you are,
Hmm.
at that rate, you're not helping anybody. You're not helping anybody, especially not yourself.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And when like you mentioned like streams and just being so like exhausted after the fact, people think and talking from like the outside perspective looking in,
Mm-hmm.
people think that reacting is just incredibly simple and not hard to do. While yes, it might be easy to do, the actual content itself, it's like, oh, you're just sitting in a chair listening to music, there's nothing that hard about it. Well, yes, but if there's people who take this reaction seriously, who will take time to try to break things down, give advice, give tips, give their thoughts, opinions, they're reacting. Like if you're genuinely reacting, like it's exhausting. If you're doing like a long recording
Mm-hmm.
session, you're going through, you're reacting to 10 songs, or you're doing a reaction stream and you're reacting to a couple hours worth of music. Like it's exhausting. And it's like there's been streams where I'll get done doing a reaction stream, and then I'll just have to like get up and go lay down for 15 minutes to a half hour, kind of just reset myself, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
relax, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
take that breather, because it's like I'm just exhausted uh from the stream. And that's not me saying like, oh hey, I'm not enjoying it. Obviously I do it because I enjoy it, but
A lot of the times thinking about like, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on this.
yeah,
A lot of the times, it's very easy to sit there and be like, yeah, oh God, great. It's very easy to do that, but that's not really reacting. You're more of just listening, and that's
yeah,
in my eyes at least. If you feel like that's reacting,
yeah,
all due respect to you, all respect to you.
of course.
But and there's no gain where realistically a lot of artists, I can speak on this personally, I think you can too, a lot of artists look at those reactions and go, see, maybe instead of doing this I should do that. Oh, he didn't like that, okay, let me go check and see if another reactor didn't like that. Oh, he didn't like that, I'm not going to do that no more. A lot of artists end up looking and they go, oh yeah, no, now we got to change it because now maybe that didn't hit right.
Yep.
And the other aspect on the other fans part, I've known people like a lot of my friends. If you've seen this video a while ago, I did this reaction stream with 3 different people who'd never heard of nerdcore.
Mhm.
Shout out Dripsticks, I'm gonna shout you out on this. You got a fan for that because of due to the fact that I was able to react to it and show that man, Dripsticks one of them once.
Absolutely.
Now that gains more fans on your aspect. So like yeah, reacting's easy. You're sitting there listening to music. But if you want to make it an actual reaction and actually break down stuff or even just have fun, that's where the harder part comes.
Yep. I agree. And to further like almost extend on that point you were making, about like like the story that you put, you did like a stream with
Mm-hmm.
3 people who weren't necessarily familiar with the community. Um, artists, like if for any, and this goes for anybody out there who might be watching this, who's ever thought about getting into like the reaction space, and not even like within nerdcore, just in general. I promise you, especially like music reactions, artists love that because they like being able to see in real time people's feedback to their craft and their work. So if they drop a song or whatever and they see like, oh hey, I can tell that some of the reactors didn't like this certain part of the song, type of like they that's input that they can use to better themselves or whatever. Or if a reactor really likes a certain song, then they know that they're doing something right. And so they always, like, artists, at least I would hope all artists appreciate reactors, just because it's like a win-win. They can't lose. One, you got the potential to bring more eyes to them with the reactor's growing audience. And two, that's additional feedback that you can see, physically see in real time. So if you ever if you've ever thought about getting into reaction space, do it, because I promise you, like, it might seem like you're not doing much at first, but once you get that ball rolling and you start racking up a little community of people who come back and watch consistently and stuff like that, I promise you that the dopamine hit when you find out, oh hey, so and so watched this reaction, they appreciated the feedback, they yada 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 XYZ, like that's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing it. Same because people enjoy that feedback, and I and me being the person I am, I have no problem giving my feedback and opinions about certain things, whether what I like, what I don't like, what I think could be improved upon, etc. So if you're sitting at home and you're curious about getting into it, I highly recommend you do, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's a win-win for everybody.
And that's the one thing, like, I completely agree on. Like, the one thing I love is seeing my comments, or even like on Twitter, seeing artists talk about it and repost it and tweet about the reactions, because that's the one thing I'm like, okay, maybe like I can go somewhere with this. Like, and that's what I love seeing, and I love keeping my style on, because a lot of reactors, including us, are very, very open, very honest, because at the end of the point, they have to be. Yep. Like, I don't care if you're a biggest artist in the world, like a Kendrick Lamar, or a artist who just made 2 songs. If a part of your song needs work, I will say that, and I feel like that's only to benefit you. It's no personal thing. It's just for the music, and I think that's what makes everything good on this part. Now,
I agree that, and I promise you too, if you're afraid of like hurting people's feelings because like, oh, I said something negative, trust me when I say the artists appreciate that. They'd rather somebody be honest with them than just to gas everything that they do up. When in reality, when in reality, their stuff could use some work. Yep. And I found that out too, because I was kind of the same way when I first started out. But now I'm to the point where just like, hey, I'm respectable about it, and I always emphasize it. But I always try to give constructive criticism, even to the best of tracks, because, like I said, the artists appreciate that. They want to know what they can do to improve.
And I feel like that's the one thing that makes life so much better. Now, you said this earlier. You said you was playing little games before you came in here. I'm going to say this. I don't curse that much. Fuck Elden Ring. I hate Elden Ring.
I just started it. I
hate it. I'm still on the 3rd boss. I got that game a year ago. I'm struggling. My build is horrible, and I'm not looking up YouTube videos. But you said you're a gamer. Now, what is your favorite console you've played on? PC counts. You can say PC or Switch. And what's the favorite games that you have played so far that you're like, oh yeah, no, this is top 3, and it's not 2 or 3.
Okay. My favorite console, and this is purely off of nostalgia. The best console that I've ever played was actually not technically the first console that I played, but the first real console that I've played was the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2
I love the
era
PlayStation.
was
I love the PlayStation 2.
legendary. It was legendary. I'll never forget my first game. Most people might not have even have heard of it. It was Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarding. That was legitimately the first game my parents bought.
I had that game.
Dude,
I
that
love
game
that
was
game.
so crazy. And just there was just a lot of memories, and I think a lot of the memories and things that I remember from it are from a time of obviously me being a kid growing up or whatever. So it's like I said, that nostalgia kind of feeling to it. But in terms of games, my favorite game of all time. Fun fact: this is my favorite fictional media of all time. And it's very recent, but it's the cyberpunk universe. Literally, if you know me, you know my whole brand is cyberpunk themed. Like it's got that very neon-y kind of aesthetic to it. That's why I just enjoy it. I've watched the anime. I've played the game. I have over 1,000 hours in the game. I've replayed it countless times. Never get bored of it. It's my comfort game. But other games I could put up there is the Zelda series. Zelda will forever hold a special place in my heart.
Zelda was one of them.
Twilight Princess. Oh, dude, that game hit. Games like, and you'll find a common theme with my games. But another good set of games are the Uncharted games.
Thank you.
Yes, Uncharted. Uncharted was legendary, bro. Uncharted 4, bro, masterpiece. Oh my god.
Uncharted 1, masterpiece. Uncharted 2, masterpiece.
All of them.
Uncharted 3, great masterpiece. That was my favorite game. Uncharted 4, legendary. I don't care if you hate Uncharted. I hate you. That's my opinion on that one.
Dude, they were such good games, and the common theme that you probably notice is that I play a lot. All those games are kind of like single player adventure, kind of just more story based games. I enjoy multiplayer games. Don't get it wrong. I enjoy them. I've never been a big like competitive multiplayer game. Like I was never big into like Fortnite or COD or stuff like that. Like I've obviously have played those throughout my life. I'm pretty sure if you've played any sort of games, you've played them at some point. But I just for some reason I think it's because, and I hate to dox myself out like this, but I'm just straight buns. At especially shooter games.
Well, there he goes. Everybody.
So if anybody challenges me to a game of like Overwatch or something, they will most likely beat my you know what. So I think that's why I just enjoy them, because I'm just not good at them. But I will say there was one outlier, and most people won't know this, and this is like a true true Dean OG. This is before even my nerdcore days. But I was streaming for about 2 years before I started doing nerdcore content. And in the year of 2022, I was in the top 3% of all of Twitch. In time, like the amount of time streamed in this category, it was Valorant.
Okay, yeah, I don't like you. I don't like you. I hate you. No.
I wasn't good.
Recording's over.
Yeah, guys, it was good.
That was it. Nope, that ruined the whole thing. Valorant's done. I hate it.
But I wasn't good at it. Like I'm peak silver. But for some reason, and I think what it was is because I was a part at that time, I was a part of like a little streaming community of people with a bunch of other people who streamed, and just a bunch of people. And Valorant was popular within the community, so I kind of like hopped in that little trend. But so I've played an exuberant amount of Valorant.
Did you get any better?
Absolutely Absolutely not.
Oh,
and
God.
I have not played it since. I have not played it since. I kind of just dedicate now. If you know me now, I dedicate a lot of time to gacha games, to the action gacha games like Honkai, Star Rail. I play Wuthering
Waves. Yes, sir.
Wuthering Waves.
Wuthering Waves.
Fucking dope.
Listen, shout out Diamonds on that one.
Dude, shout out Black Diamonds, man. He's my gacha brother. I'm actually part of of a little group chat of gacha enjoyers within the community. And so shout out to all those guys because they all go crazy. But Wuthering Waves now kind of has my heart. That's the game that I probably play the most in recent memory.
Y'all will be seeing Wuthering Wave streams coming soon. I guarantee it. I need to get back on it. It's downloaded. My PC's here. We're getting Wuthering Waves going.
Hey, if you need any tips and tricks, bro, I got you, bro. That's my bread and butter.
Listen, you can help me out on that, and I'll carry you to a victory royale in Fortnite.
You know what? I'll hold you to that.
Listen, you can ask Dia. All right, I'm just saying, ask Dia. Shout out her.
You correct?
We played one game. I had 18 kills and we won. That was my first ever game on PC. I had 18, 23 my next game.
Hell yeah! So he got the sauce, is what I'm hearing. This
I am. I'm calling everybody out now. Ain't no one better than me at Fortnite. Ain't no one better than me at Fortnite. I'm gonna make sure to clip this, and when it comes out. When this comes out in the recording, I'm gonna clip this and post this on Twitter so everybody comes at you. Yep, I don't care. Come on, no one better than me at Twitter. I was gonna say Twitter, Fortnite, and sports games. I would call everybody out on that.
Oh, dude, I used to be big in Madden. I probably
Madden,
wasn't good in
FIFA,
comparison.
The baseball games, 2K. No one's beating me in those.
2K holds a special place in my heart. I played my first 2K game was 2K16, and I bought it because it was free for the PlayStation monthly games or whatever. And so I was just like, fuck it, it's free. I never really played basketball, I didn't really know much of it, but it was free, so I was just like, screw it, let me give it a try. Oops, sorry.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I would not be sitting here in this chair if it wasn't for 2K, because me playing 2K, I met some incredible people that I've known at this point for probably I think a little over a decade now, which is crazy because I just kind of I'm old as hell. But I've known them for a decade now. And we've kind of grown that relationship where we're just straight up brothers. And they were the group of people that you would always game with every night. That you would just hop on the game, bro. And because of those guys, I developed more of an online presence because of those guys, where I've kind of became very online. And then I was discussing because these guys were telling me about Twitch and live streaming and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. So shout out to those guys, the Golden Roses. That was our pro-am team name.
That's tough.
The Golden Roses. Fun fact, we all have dedicated rose tattoos. That's how close we are.
Wait. I was gonna say, is it an appropriate area? I was gonna say you got to show me now.
At this point, I got multiple rose tattoos. But the one in question is up here. I will never ever show this one because in hindsight, now looking back, it didn't age the best, so it looks crappy. But even right here,
there we go. Yep.
I got a rose here, and then I can't really roll up the sleeve, but I got one that comes all the way down here. But we all have a rose to signify our little friendship group. And those guys, as much as I don't really talk to them as much anymore. But those guys will always be my brothers, and I would not be sitting in this chair right now talking to you in Frozen in Time, hosted by King Frozo, if it wasn't for those guys. So if for some reason those guys are watching this right now, nothing but love to those guys out there, because Dean would never have existed.
I love the plug-in title. I love the plug-in title. And man, check out Frozen in Time 1 through 3 as well. Check out 1 through 3. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna do a little stopping point here, and then we're gonna keep on going. Sure. Now, speaking of NPC, and I want to mention speaking of NPC, I want to mention NPC, and then I want speaking of basketball.
Okay.
Were you at the NPC basketball game? If you were, or did you hear? If you weren't, did you at least hear about it from like other people at the time? Because Twitter was crazy.
I wasn't at the game. Unfortunately, I did not get an invite to said game. Plus, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was already flying back home. The day that they were having the game. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go. But infamously, I've heard the stories. I've seen like those Mix Williams Geno 5 interviews. And the one takeaway that I think we should all take away from the NPC basketball, and just basketball in general, is Ori can't hoop. Ori cannot hoop to save his life. And I think that's the
I love you, Ori, but absolutely not. Please don't pick up the basketball again. Don't do that, especially at 2025, because I'm pushing. Hey, I am talking the most crap because I'm pushing for an invite.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was the most hilarious thing is seeing the lead ups. You had the Cam Steady getting muscle, Daddy Fast Snaps getting more leaner, less big bulky. And then Orcadio was he was shooting the whole time. I just saw nothing but basketball workouts.
True. I remember seeing
I was so expecting. I was like, listen, bro, I'm rooting for you. It didn't work out so well.
In hindsight, yikes. I'm kidding. No, we love Ori over here. We're just poking fun.
I love messing with Ori. I will kick you in a one-on-one basketball with my right hand, with one hand. You can clip that and tag him. I love you, Ori, but I'm cooking you.
That's crazy.
Cam Steady, you too. I know you're actually good.
Oh, I was gonna say you might want to be careful with that.
Nah, hey, listen.
I heard he kind of nice with a low key.
Cam and Soul Taishi. I'm gonna say Taishi.
Taishi. Oh, yep. Taishi. The guy. Yep. The
man of the skits.
And the skits. Yes.
The man of the skits. Yep. I'm calling you out too. Whenever this happens, I'm cooking you in a one-on-one. I will personally clip this one. But y'all my guys, love y'all. It's all love, but I'm competitive. Now, NPC. now we're speaking of NPC.
Yep.
NPC 2025.
Yes, sir.
That's in my home.
Oh, is it?
That's Texas. That's Texas. Me.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
I think Sue's from Texas. Chris Craig, Texas. That's my Texas brethren. Are you showing up?
Hell yeah, man. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there live and in living color. For the foreseeable future, I'm probably going to be as many NPCs as I can. But I will for sure be, and that's obviously life sucks. Things can happen.
As of now.
But as of right now, my plan is to be there. I'm going to be kicking it with all the peeps and all the homies at the convention, outside the convention. So yeah, my plan is to be there all weekend long, enjoying the festivities.
Oh yeah, and the great news is that my birthday's coming up past then, and then I'm gonna be 21.
Oh hell yeah!
So dude. I'm gonna get on Gyro's level.
That's crazy. Hey, be careful because if
I'm
you got
not
too
block.
much, I
I'm
think you
not
got
blocking J.
alcohol
I'm
poisoning.
not
So,
blocking Jay Easy though. We love Jay Easy over here. I'm not blocking Jay Easy. We love Jay Easy.
oh, shout out to Jay's.
We're not having JE Incident 2025. We're not having that.
Oh, we gotta love Gyro around here. I
we,
fucking hate that guy, but
I love Gyro,
he
but
dissed
like,
me on he dissed me on Twitter. I can't stand that guy.
I love Gyro, but like, fuck you, Gyro. Like honestly, like now,
What's up, W Dean L Gyros in the comments.
yeah, W. If you make it this far, W Dean. If you type in Gyro, put a tomato right after that. I love doing that to Gyro. Now
we hate Gyro around here.
We hate Gyro, but we also love Gyro a little bit. Just a little bit.
I guess.
Just a little bit. Just
I guess
he's a great guy. He's a great guy sometimes. Sometimes. Now, Nerdcore Party Con. We're gonna take off the party and the con because we're gonna get into some real topics here.
Okay.
Now we're both reactors, and we both kind of we're not in the artist type of the area, but we react to a lot of music, and obviously we're both pretty active on Twitter.
Yep.
What is your honest opinion on the scene? What is your honest opinion? Do you feel like
current state of the scene?
Of the current state? Do you feel like it needs a little bit stuff to work on? Do you feel like love the scene is great right now? Obviously, like a little bit, but like, do you feel like it needs a lot of stuff that can get worked on? Do you feel like the community is like there? Because frankly, I love the scene. I do. Mm-hmm. However, and I'm going to bring this up, frankly, because of, I'm not going to talk too much about the incident that happened a couple days ago. I think it was 2 days ago with Richie Branson. Okay. But I feel like, personally speaking, as an outsider, inside's perspective, I may not know, I'm not that far in, but outside perspective, it feels like everybody is community until a topic hits, and then there's obviously a joint, like a huge gap in between on two different sides. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to know what your thoughts on that part is, because you've been more.
So, do you want like the music side of nerdcore, or do you just want the overarching? Just
we'll say music was 2-part question. Music side, because I feel like that's more of an easier answer, and then overall arch perspective of nerdcore.
Well, I got you. Well, again, everything I want to preface this, and I'll always do this. I'm not one to go around throwing shade. Everything that I do it coming from a place of respect and love. And I want to preface that beforehand. I'm not throwing shots at anybody. I'm not going to mention names.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to do any of that stuff, because at the end of the day, man, I'm all about preaching that positivity and happiness as always. But like I said, I'm an honest guy. But I will be honest. In terms of the nerdcore music, I think it's in a good spot in terms of quality wise. I just with certain bigger artists in general, it feels like, and I've noticed this more, that it's funny, I noticed this the more I listen to the smaller artists. But a lot of the artists, and again, this right here is just a personal opinion, I don't know what the right term, I don't want to say they're scared to veer off and try new things.
I remember this. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, but it's like for example, I had a reaction where I reacted to a Fable track, and I was saying that I pretty much said what I was saying now, that I just feel like I can go into said person's track and kind of just know what I'm getting. And it just doesn't have that excitement anymore. And some people, and I know some people have brought the kind of arguments like, oh, I feel like I'm oh, they mixed this song a certain way that made it
Mm-hmm.
better, or I was inspired by this group or this band or this person with this song, and I really wanted to kind of fit in that stylistically. And I will say this from a consumer standpoint, as somebody who's not a musician
Mm-hmm.
and in the slightest, I promise you, and again, no shade, people aren't, or the average consumer
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to pick up like like whatever you do with your mix. It could be drastic to you, but the average consumer is not going to pick those
Mm-hmm.
details up. So if you're thinking that, oh, just upping the quality of your mix is being different, then like it's not like, it's like saying the same thing in a different font, pretty
Yeah,
much. Like it's
I've
just like,
noticed that
oh,
a
it's
lot.
just like the same vibe, but I could just hear it better.
Yeah.
But so it's just like, I like I just want to see the true versatility of the artist. I want to see what, like, I want to see the emotional side. I want to see the vibey sides. I want to see the just the just different sides of the artist. And I feel like a lot of bigger artists, they always have like a dedicated style and sound, and
Mm-hmm.
this is like the general theme of their tracks. And it's just like over time that's bound to get a little old to the average listener, because it's just like, okay, I can kind of predict going into this what this is going to be. Whereas if you mix things up and to do different styles and genres and sounds, and I'm not saying you guys like people have to complete like switch genres completely, like, but you can touch different topics and bring a
Mm-hmm.
different vibe, and still staying within that same genre. um but it's just like, I feel like the priority, like, it's just, and I get it, because that's what works for them, and that's, at the end of the day, this is what they do for a full-time job, so they're going to do whatever they can
Make
to
make a
to
living.
to make the living.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I feel like if you if you truly cared about the music itself, you
Yeah.
you wouldn't be afraid to dive in and try different genres. And again, this is just my opinion. I'm just a stupid guy in the internet. um but like, for example, people like, I'll use a good example, somebody like a Suyo. I've been adamant about bringing him up because it seems like every song that he
Yep.
makes nowadays is a different vibe. It's a different style. You'll go from like 2000s R&B one song, and the next thing you know, he's making just
Heavy metal. Yeah.
heavy metal, and that's what you come to expect from Suyo, and he
Mm-hmm.
does a very good job at it. And it's just like a breath of fresh air, and I get excited to, like, oh shoot, I wonder what kind of vibe he's gonna bring with this track. And I don't get that anymore with some of the bigger artists, because it's just, I go in expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the overarching community, I will
Wait,
say,
before you put that,
oh,
because
sorry, what's up?
I want to explain on your topic, and
Okay.
you have a good point,
Mhm.
because a lot of the artists, and obviously like he said, I'm not a musician, I'm just a stupid guy on the internet.
Mhm.
Uh, but from a listener's perspective, I can't say consumer because, like I said, I'm a stupid guy on the internet.
Yeah.
Uh, it seems like a lot of the artists, like you said, are getting very one path. Like, you know what's gonna happen and everything.
Yep.
And you mentioned Suyo, and I got a couple artists that I want to shout out too.
Okay.
Black Diamonds, Dripstick. I'm gonna shout out Otaku Underworld as a whole. Realistically, in Rumble World, though, the
Yep.
Zerardo and those, they have different vibes every track.
Yep.
Dripstick especially, because realistically, Dripstick got known. He got like big
Yep.
off the Mari saga when he started going rapping on that part. Now, if you listen to Turbo Granny, Momo Flow,
Banger.
uh, the Mahito song that he did with JHB and Mari, it's a very different vibe, and that's what like
Mm-hmm.
that's what especially me as a at the time I was just a regular listener. I
Yep.
would see that and be like, oh my god, I love this. This is great. Which with other artists, I'll be like, yeah, I love this, but I feel like this is the same song I heard 2 weeks ago, or the
Mm-hmm.
same song I heard 4 weeks ago. Because a lot of people do the bi-weekly stuff, and that's what feeling like.
Yep.
That's what makes everything good on that part, and that's
Yep.
why like a lot of nerdcore isn't really used to that because even like there are don't get me wrong, there are some big artists that still do different waves. That's not
Yeah.
like Game Boy is completely. I don't know what type of song we're getting half the time.
Yep.
Peso, he had 4 different vibes on his last track alone.
Yep.
And I feel
Shout out
like
Peso.
yeah, we love you, Peso. Uh, and I feel like that's the one thing that makes it a lot better, and that's one I'm like, because Suyo especially, I want to praise Suyo every time I can talk about him because of the fact that I played his Don Da Don snippet of a heavy metal track to my brother who hates the music I listen to. He hates the music I listen to. I played that. He followed him immediately and
Hell
said,
yeah,
"Oh
dude.
yeah, we're gonna listen to his music from now on. Let me know."
Yep.
And I feel like that's the thing. That's what a lot of people got to look for if you're
Mhm.
making music as a consumer's perspective. Now, granted, like you said, full time job. If you're doing what makes you the most money, makes you able to survive off that, I get it. I love it. I
Oh yeah.
appreciate that because a lot of y'all have families, and that's cool. We love that. We love to see that. But if it's a music perspective, and say you're still earning for that top spot, making don't necessarily change everything, like you said. Don't change everything, but throw in a melodic song every now and then. Throw in a kind of auto tune, mixy rap type of vibe every now and then. And I feel like a lot of, especially being a reactor, that's what makes it kind of hard. Because I'm like, there's some artists that I'm like, man, I don't want to react to you. I just want to listen to you straight away. Shout out Hastic. I'm not reacting to a Hastic song because at 7 o'clock in the morning when I wake up every day on a Friday or Saturday he drops, it's in my playlist automatically. But and it's nothing on that point, and I feel like that's the one part that makes that's what I feel
Yeah.
like that's going to make nerdcore, even though it's as big as it is now. I feel like personally speaking, that's going to make it even bigger on the musician side.
Yeah.
Now,
And I will say, and I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
no, you're good.
But I want to preface: I'm not saying in any stretch of the means that the songs are bad.
No, the songs are great.
Like they're well put together.
Mhm.
Like they can be compared to stuff that you would get in mainstream sound.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I had a thought that I was gonna bring up. But I feel like nerdcore, the bigger artists, they all want, or they all try to make spectacles, like experiences,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is cool, right? Like I said, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes, man, I just want to listen to a song that I could just chill to, like just
Mm-hmm.
like something that I could just recline this chair back and just let
Vibe.
let
Yep.
it just let it take me on a trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need like these grandiose, like epic style, like music and videos, and like I just want something that I can vibe out to and just kind of just chill to. And like I said, sometimes I'm in the mood for that, but for the most part, like just give me like a vibey banger, man. That's all I want. So
That's why
it's
we
just,
love mix.
yep.
Drop more music. Call you out
But
every
it's
time.
just like, and again, no disrespect to anybody. I didn't want to like go ahead naming names and throwing people under the bus, because at the end of the day, I'm all about being happy, positive, and spreading that. Um, so I hope this conversation isn't offending anybody out there, but at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just gonna be an honest individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do what I can to try to make sure everybody, big, small, all my peers, that we're all eating
Together.
together.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted to use my platform for. So whatever I got to do to get to that point, I'm gonna do it.
I agree. Uh, I agree. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to repeat the same thing again. I agree. The only reason why I started this thing was to get I love the music. I love the music. I love the music. The music is
Yep.
what at a time. Music is what gave me like a thing to look forward to every time. Because realistically, we all go through some shit,
Yeah.
and music is what helped me out. A lot of y'all artists get help me out because of the music. But I'm also very, very honest, and I will call it like it is. And there is no disrespect on it. There's absolutely none. It's just straight. I'm all about peace, positivity, prosperity, all that stuff. That's the way I was always brought up,
Yep.
and I'm all about 100% honesty. I'm not gonna lie to you. If your music sucks, your music sucks. Y'all music doesn't suck, especially the bigger artists. Y'all music doesn't suck. But speaking of the community,
Mhm.
we're gonna make our segue back all the way to the second part of that statement, of that question,
Okay.
which is, what is your overall look of the whole arch of nerdcore?
Um, I will say, in the time that I've been here, I've been not well before I started making content. I've been listening to nerdcore since around 2020 2021 time, and didn't really get into the community until I started making content in very early 2022. Um, but in that time, in that 4 years that I've been kind of just paying attention to the community,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed as of late, that the nerdcore community as a whole is very, what's the word, like they're sectioned off. And what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that, um is that there's certain cliques and groups of people, and it's just like everybody's kind of, and I'm not saying this in like in a derogatory way, but they're just like, they're all segregated. They're all like
It's
split
separated.
off into
Yep. Mm-hmm.
each into groups, and there's a lot of just stuff I feel like that happens behind the scenes that people
Clash it up.
um like bash heads with one another, and it's not, doesn't have that same community feel as it did back then.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see people collabing with like crazy people. Like they all stay within like their certain bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's nothing wrong with it. There's people obviously you're going to be more comfortable with, and
Especially as a music perspective, yeah.
yeah, especially from like music perspective. And I know that the nerdcore times have changed, in terms, because now people are more focused on like the quality of their stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so they want to provide as much quality as possible. But because of that, I feel like, and I, like I said, complete respect for them for working on their craft. But I feel like as a whole, the community has taken kind of a hit because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're focused so much on their music. And again, I'm not faulting them for focusing on their music, but it causes the overall overarching community to kind of feel neglected. And so that's kind of why I do a lot of the stuff that I do,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the things that I've always I've wanted to do since I've really started making waves. I don't know if you can really call it that, but since I really started going crazy with content and more people started to recognize me, is that I wanted to do my best to kind of bring that community feel back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so whether it's like the charity event that I did in September with it ending with the concert, or this thing that I'm going to be doing, this little year end thing that I'm going to be doing, I can't announce quite yet. And just all the like just the random stuff that I do. I want to try to get all parties, like bring in all parties to try to make the overarching community like just one giant community again. Because I know we're getting into very real subjects, but at the end of the day, and I feel like you can repeat that, you can kind of say the same sentiment, but nerdcore is cool sometimes. Like there's some very cool moments that just makes you happy to be a part of the community. And I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for nerdcore and music and stuff like that. Like, I enjoy it. I wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy it. I love the aspects to it, but it's just, you would be kind of, but I'm not trying to sound harsh with this, but you would be kind of blind if you don't see the changes from a few years back that there is now. Everything's so like clicky, and it seems like people butt heads nowadays more often than not. Like, you can't open up Twitter, like, it seems like at any given point, because there's always some new thing that you're reading about. And I get to maybe to like some of like the bigger names in the scene that might be looked at as kind of redundant because it doesn't involve any of them. But
in a community state, it's more of
in a community state, it takes a toll. And that causes lines to be drawn, and like, oh hey, like for example, and I won't go too into detail, but with this Richie and Dahlia thing, that caused people to pick sides. And it kind of just caused this divide amongst the community, and because of that causes situations where it's almost irreparable, where just like, no matter how much I'm trying to bring the community feedback, you just can't, because it's just the damage is done. And so it's just, I feel like I'm almost fighting an uphill battle sometimes, but at the end of the day, I've kind of gotten to the point where I've kind of accepted where things are at, and I know that that end goal is probably not likely, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna make sure as many people around me are eating and successful. I'm gonna continue having fun doing my little wacky stuff, whether it's reactions, whether it's events, whether it's my random streams, whatever. If I can just bring my community of people happiness,
by especially doing Frozen in Time #4 hosted by kingfrozo. I did it this time. Yep.
But it's just like, I've kind of gotten used to the fact, and I'm just kind of just staying in my own lane. I don't get caught up in anything. I don't involve myself with anything, because at the end of the day, if we want to get really real, I believe that some things get taken too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's the internet. It does, like, it should never get to the point where it's bothering you to the point where it's affecting your personal life. Like,
I 1000% agree.
It just shouldn't matter. And so,
hold that thought for 1 second.
What's up?
Lego.
But what was I saying?
My fault for y'all. I had to pause the recording for a minute. We're back. The community, the bringing everybody, make sure everybody eats.
Oh yeah, and it's just like if we're getting really real, like I said, the internet is again not a this it's not a real place, and I get that people might be in disagreements. Not everybody's gonna. Oh, this person might not like this person. This person doesn't really hates this person. Yada yada yada. That's cool. Most of us are grown people. But it's just like I don't let that dictate anything with my life, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What I see, whatever I scroll and see on Twitter, it's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect my daily life. It's not going to affect how I go about living my life. I don't involve myself with anything. I don't interject. I don't do anything, because at the end of the day, it's just stupid, pointless internet stuff. And I know some people's situations are different, depending on whatever the situation might be, because but in my case, 99% of the stuff, it just doesn't involve me. It doesn't need me. It's not serious enough to me. So a lot of the times I see it and I'm just like,
anyways,
cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, another day in nerdcore hashtag.
Where is Frost?
Yes. So it's just like, I think people in certain situations, they take things too seriously online, and they hold it to a higher standard, when in reality it's not that serious. It'll never be that serious. Actually, I'm not gonna say it never be that serious.
It's not,
for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, it's not that serious.
For the
Obviously,
most part, yeah.
People are weird, and sometimes in the nerdcore scene, especially honestly in the internet scene, we have those moments where it needs to be serious, and for that aspect, that is not for that. but
it's just like,
I agree.
A lot of it's just petty, stupid stuff that could have
definitely been
solved behind closed doors, and it's just like, but people feel again, and this doesn't even involve the music, but people like making spectacles of things and focusing on all the negatives, where it's just like, and I've seen many people say this, when something negative happens, it, for some reason, it attracts more attention than the good. So somebody could, oh, so and so's this person's not a good person, and that tweet will fucking blow up. But somebody's like, oh shoot, I hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. But nobody pays attention to that. And I just feel like it's all kind of just backwards. And I don't get it. I will never ever get it. But that's just how the state of things are. I don't let it affect me. Like I said, I do what I gotta do. I just remain positive. I know I've said that a lot, but that's genuinely how I live my life. I just focus on the positives and just try to be happy with everything that I do.
I will say this:
focus on every little thing, I'd be miserable.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to avoid, because I feel like if I get miserable, people around me will get miserable, and I don't want that.
I will say this: speaking to this man on Twitter, I knew it was always about peace, but then obviously it's the internet. Sometimes, people be lying. We've all met people that have done that on the internet. They would just be lying on how they act. Speaking to this man in the DMs, on Discord, outside of the camera, I will give you respect, because I'm gonna be honest. At first, did not think you was this nice, especially but Dean is one of the nicest people when it comes to everybody except for Gyro. And for that, I give you definitely amount of praise. And I 1000% agree with you on the internet part. And I will make this my saying forever. If it does not affect if it doesn't affect how you live your life, don't let it affect your life. And because honestly, I've seen a lot of people and they go that way and they let it affect their life when realistically, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I've known people growing up who let it affect their life. I was one of the people that let it affect my life. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, all we want, especially in this scene, is peace, prosperity,
peace, love, and prosperity,
and
baby.
love. Yup. And we gotta make sure everybody eats.
Absolutely.
And for that, that's the best thing of what we live on.
I agree wholeheartedly. And again, I appreciate you for the kind words. I definitely don't know how to accept the compliment. I'm terrible at taking compliments.
I am too. Don't worry.
But I appreciate you regardless for the kind words. I just how I am. I'm the same person on and off camera.
Mm-hmm.
And although when I'm on camera, it's amplified. Like I might be like, because if you've ever met me IRL, you'll know that I'm way more mellow. But it's still me. Obviously, in front of a camera, or in terms like social media and content, I amplify it more because entertainment purposes. But I just try to be the 100% authentic me because at the end of the day, I don't like playing like a character or trying to be this and something that I'm not, because at the end of the day, then I'm just going to become miserable because of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I'm 100% me and I practice what I preach, it makes this 10 times more enjoyable because I can just do what I got to do. I could be me. I don't have to do a certain thing. I don't have to do it this way. I don't have to do it that way. I can just do it how I would do it.
And that's what makes the beauty of content creation. Because at the end of the day, if it's a solo channel, it's just how you want to get it done.
Absolutely.
And if for that case, we here are wrapping up Frozen in Time number 4. Do we have any closing remarks?
Actually, I do. I got some closing remarks. Some closing remarks for people. For the people at home. I want you to pay attention. Okay. What I want you guys to do, if you guys are watching this, if you guys have made it to this point in I don't know what you want to call it, podcast interview
in the interview. Yeah.
But what if you've made it this far into the interview, what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to subscribe to kingfrozo, because like you said, he's newer to the creation game, but I've seen a handful of his reactions. I'll be honest, I haven't seen them all, but I've seen a handful of his reactions. I've watched a couple of his, I don't think I've watched the Ariel Ace one, but I've seen his other Frozen in Times. I can tell that he definitely has a love and a care, not only for the music, but for his creation journey. And so, I don't really give, I don't know if you want to call this the Dean stamp of approval or whatever the fuck. But kingfrozo is definitely is somebody that you're going to have to look out for in the creation space for years to come. Dude is just from the interactions that I've had, he seems just genuine, down to earth, and he just seems just authentically him. And he just seems like a good and cool overall dude, and I appreciate him for allowing me to come on here and kind of just answer questions, BS a little bit, talk about some stuff. This was an overall blast. Yeah, dude, and shout out to you, Frozo. You're doing good things, and from my perspective, they don't go unnoticed, and hopefully the people that are watching this and who are listening to this agree with me. But you're doing good things, man. You're going down a good path. So shout out to you. Shout out to all the people at home, the Frozos out there. And
yeah, we are not using that name, but We gonna think
But
if you in the comment
but
section,
shout out to all the peeps at home.
put a name down. If you be like, man, ain't nothing working with this name, we gonna call you the peeps. All right, we gonna call you
Hey,
the peeps.
that's my thing. That's my thing.
Oh
Come on.
yeah, okay. All right.
The peeps is my thing. Come on, come on,
Copyright.
Yeah, copyright, man. Copyright.
I'm not getting claimed.
I own anything peep related. The peep candy, the peep fucking candy. That I own that. No, I'm kidding.
We gonna work on a name right now. Y'all my frozen twins. All right.
But no, but if you guys haven't already, if you guys aren't, and you guys might be tuning in because I'm a part of this, I highly recommend you guys go give Frozo a shot. Because like I said, he's a genuine dude who cares.
Mm-hmm.
And again, shout out to him. This was a Frozo. This was a blast of an episode. I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to kind of like speak. That nobody else has given me. I mean, I guess I can speak on my own platform. But nobody's given me an opportunity to speak on their platform. So I appreciate you for allowing me to be here. It was an honor to be a part of this, and I can't wait to see where these Frozen in Times go in the future. Again, the sky's the limit for you, man. I'm proud of the work that you've done to this point, and I'm excited to see the stuff that you got cooked up in the future. So shout out to all the people watching this who made it to this point. Shout out to Frozo. Shout out to the Nerdcore community. Just shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all you guys.
Shout out to everyone, man. Listen, we kept it real, but it's all out of love. There's nothing,
Sure.
no hate, no none apart on that.
Yes, sir.
I gotta do the outro, but before I do that, let's see how we doing running back for a Peep Lounge interview.
Hey, maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
It could be in the cards. Hey, I don't know.
Listen.
I don't know, man.
If you got here and you want me to run it, you want us to run it back for a Peep Lounge.
Hey, let me know. Let me know in the let me know in the comments. Do I need to get Frozo down on the Peep Lounge? Hey.
This was my questions. Let me know if you got questions. All right, y'all gonna keep it real. It's been your boy Frozo. We out. Peace.